Okay, so in Canada, there has been a case, or they're saying that murder charges could be thrown out against this individual, against a man who allegedly killed his ex-girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend's mother, and her stepfather, or yeah, and so they're saying basically is there were too many delays in the case, right? So the case took, I think, 5 years to get to trial, and they're saying that it's because they delayed so long, it violated his rights to a speedy trial, so they might throw the the charges out. Now, so this case was in Gatineau, Quebec, and the accused is Shakti Ramsurrun, 33 years old. He was accused of killing his ex-girlfriend, 21-year-old Anne Catherine Powers, her mother, 63-year-old Louise LeBoeuf, and LeBoeuf's partner, 58-year-old Claude Levesque, in Aylmer, Quebec, in May 2012. Now, basically, so now they're saying they have the trial scheduled for April 2017, which is about 5 years after the charges against Ramsurrun were first laid. Now, actually, so Shakti Ramsurrun, he's 33 years old now. 5 years ago, he would have been around 28 years old. So anyway, so let's see. They're saying, and this is in Canada, so they say that trial delays of more than 30 months. They're saying that people should get the trial within 30 months in Superior Court or 18 months in provincial courts. And if the charges take longer than that, then then the cases may be thrown out because of delays. Okay. Limited defense. And let's say defense lawyer Richard Dubé says limited resources and courtroom availability in the Gatineau courthouse are to blame. They had to wait 10 months for a preliminary inquiry, and in 2015 a trial date was set for 2017. And so I guess they put in a motion to have the charges dismissed. So this is a triple homicide. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about when I say about taking pleas. Obviously, if this guy murdered 3 people and he gets off for that, that's not a good thing. But at the same time, you have the law saying people need to go to trial in a reasonable time, and the majority of people who get charged with the crimes are not triple murderers. Okay, this is an unusual case. Majority of people in most jails are locked up for minor charges. Okay, so the thing is, in my opinion, these police and these prosecutors need to be selective they need to stop laying bullshit charges. Okay, this is a problem. They lay so many charges they lay all these little minor charges against people, then the court system gets backed up. It gets overloaded because they have all these bullshit charges. They should focus their resources, like prioritize. Okay, which person do they want to take off the street? Do they want to take off people for do they want to lock people up for these little bullshit charges all the time? Are those the people that the public needs to be protected from? Or is it people who commit triple murders, triple homicides? Think about it. That's the problem with these prosecutors. They spend all their time locking up people on bullshit charges, and then the murderers go free. There was a case in Texas where there was a guy, a serial killer. This guy murdered somebody. I think him and a friend killed somebody. They sent him to prison, and then the prisons became so overcrowded that they started just randomly releasing all these prisoners. And that murderer was one of the people they released. As soon as he got released, he went out and went on a serial killing spree. He murdered a whole bunch of people. And And it's a kind of the same principle, because in Texas they were throwing so many people in prison that they couldn't house these prisoners. And then they had, I think it was a court ruling, like a human rights type of ruling against the prisons, because the prisons were so overcrowded that the conditions were inhumane. So they just started letting people go. But it's like, these people don't use priorities. This is why I don't support all this get tough on crime bullshit, because they talk about getting tough on crime. All they do is lock people up for nothing. And then you have overcrowded prisons, and then the prisons get too overcrowded, so they start letting murderers go free. Like, these people have, like, all this stuff is bullshit, okay? All this rhetoric that they spout is bullshit. They talk about, getting tough on crime, but they're not keeping you safe, because they have no priorities. They'll lock people up for little bullshit charges. Like, they'll have people who, they have somebody steal a loaf of bread and they'll put them in prison for life, and then they don't have enough room in the prison for murderers. Let the murderers go free because the prisons are overcrowded. Or in this case, in Canada, the case that I was talking about before with the Indian guy, the guy with the Indian name, they probably have the court system so full of people with minor charges that they don't have time to prosecute a murder. But to me, the way I look at it, they should make room for the murder cases, okay? Focus the resources on the murder cases. Don't deal with the bullshit cases. Like, stop prosecuting people for the marijuana possession or whatever. Keep the focus on the murder cases, on people with serious charges. And then they wouldn't have to do this stupid shit where they have to drop charges against murderers. Like, this is idiotic. Okay, it's idiotic that they have to drop a charge against a murderer. Why don't they just drop some charges against people with minor cases, and then focus the resources on the serious cases? Okay, that's common sense. Anyway, but as I was saying in another video, this is one of the reasons why people shouldn't take plea bargains. People with minor charges should not take plea bargains, because the court system is so backed up. They don't have the space in the court system to handle all these cases, okay? So you get a minor charge, take that case to trial. Take it to trial. And even if you get convicted, you can't get a really serious sentence if you have a minor charge. And the case might get thrown out. You may be able to just say, if they can't get the case to trial on time, in a set period of time, okay, in a specified period of time. I don't know, it's probably different in different jurisdictions, but some places they say they have to go to trial in a specified period of time. And if they can't do that, then you can put in an application to get the charges dismissed. Okay, and this is what this murder is doing. So you have these murders. I think I heard about another case like this where a murderer got the cases thrown out. I can't remember. I think it was in Canada. Anyway, so these murderers are getting their cases thrown out. So if you get charged with a minor charge, okay, they give you some bullshit charge, take that to trial, and then get the case. See if they can't get the case. See if they can't get the case to trial in time, then get the case thrown out, because and it's their own fault because they're laying too many bullshit charges. Okay, so that would be my advice to people. Get your case thrown out. Some of these murderers are getting their cases thrown out, but these other people are pleading guilty to minor charges that some of them didn't even commit these crimes. They're just pleading out to get the case over with, to get the case finished. So that's why I say don't take plea bargains unless you're if you're a Bobby Schmurder, if you are facing 100 years, 200 years in prison for conspiracy and all this stuff, you might want to take the plea bargain and get the 7-year sentence. But if you're facing some minor bullshit charge, don't take the plea bargain. Take it to trial, and and you might win in trial. You might get convicted, but if you get convicted, they won't want to charge you again because you took up too many resources, or they'll be more hesitant to charge you again. Or they may not even have room, may not even be able to get the case to trial in time, and you could just get their charges thrown out. So, that would be my advice to people. Don't take the plea bargains. Unless you're really facing very serious charges, don't take a plea bargain.